wildflowers leaned into the breeze. Every color held a memory. Every petal whispered back to me. There were footprints in the morning dew, fading softly with the light. Some stories never truly leave us, they simply bloom out of sight. Time keeps turning every page, but love still lingers in between. Even broken hearts remember places they have never seen. Where wildflowers remember, I'll leave a piece of who I am. Every tear becomes a river, every river finds the land. If the wind should call my name, don't tell it that I've gone. Tell it I'm becoming sunshine after carrying the storm. After carrying the storm. The trees still sing the same old melody, those seasons painted them anew. I learned that healing isn't forgetting, it's finding life inside the truth. Every scar became a window, every goodbye shaped the sky. The girl who feared tomorrow finally learned the reason why. Hope doesn't arrive like thunder, it grows beneath the rain, like tiny roots beneath the earth, quietly easing every pain. Where wildflowers remember, I'll plant my dreams among the hills. Every sunset holds a promise that tomorrow always will. Though the night may steal my laughter, it can't steal what I know. Even after every winter, wildflowers still grow. Wildflowers still grow. If you ever lose your way, follow the places where kindness stayed. Not every miracle is loud. Sometimes it's a single flower growing through forgotten ground. Sometimes it's your own heart choosing to bloom again. Where wildflowers remember, that's where I'll begin again. With open hands and gentle courage, no longer hiding from the rain. I'll wear my story like the sunrise, soft but impossible to ignore. Because every field that blooms today was once an empty wildflowers will remember. There's a little house on Willow Street, windows open to the sky. No curtains left to hide the sorrow, no reason left to hide the light. Dust still dances in the hallway, photographs begin to fade. Love once lived inside these walls, its echo never walked away. Every empty room remembers every laugh that filled the air. Time may carry voices was locked behind the door. If love can leave without a warning, hope can quietly move back in. Every broken home can learn again how to welcome spring. Your sweater in the closet, still carrying your favorite scent. Funny how the smallest memories outlive every argument. Outside, roses keep on blooming. They don't ask who's gone away. They simply lift their faces upward every single day. Maybe hearts are just like gardens. They need rain before they grow. Even roots beneath the surface know which way the rivers flow. This is the house with no curtains, every window filled with dawn. Though goodbye became the silence, it never stayed for long. I'm learning how to leave the sadness like old shoes beside the door. Every step toward tomorrow feels lighter than before. One day someone will knock gently, not to replace the past, but to share a brand new story. Until then, I'll keep every window open, because healing always finds the homes that welcome light. This is the house with no curtains, where forgiveness learned to stay. Every sunrise paints the walls with colors yesterday couldn't make. I don't live inside the ending, I live inside what's next. The heart was never built to break forever, it was built to bloom again. Tomorrow, alone beside the shoreline, where every wave erased my fears. The sea collected all my questions, one by one through quiet tears. The sky was dressed in shades of silver, morning waiting to appear. I whispered every broken promise only the tide could hear. Some things disappear forever, some things return with every tide. Maybe hearts are like the ocean, always changing deep inside. When the ocean learned my name, it carried all my pain away. Every wave became a promise, every dawn a brand new day. If the wind remembers yesterday, I don't have to stay the same. I found a little piece of heaven when the ocean learned Seagulls circled through the sunrise like little prayers learning to fly. The horizon kept on calling, leave the fear you've left behind. Every shell beneath my footsteps held a story of its own. Even things the sea has broken still become something beautiful. Hope arrived without a warning, soft as water on the sand. Healing never asked for permission, it simply took my hand. When the ocean learned my name, it washed away the weight I wore. Every heartbeat found its rhythm, like the waves against the shore. Though goodbye still echoes softly, it no longer sounds the same. I found myself between the blue when the ocean learned my name. For coming back again, neither should you rise again. When the ocean learned my name, the silence finally smiled. Every scar became a lighthouse, guiding home the frightened child. I'll keep walking toward tomorrow, even when the road feels long, because every tide keeps singing, you were stronger all along. You were stronger all along. You were stronger all along. The sea never asked who I used to be, it simply welcomed who I became. Folded little paper birds from letters I could never send. Each one carried silent wishes to the place where stories end. The rain began to ride around me, like the sky knew every page. Every drop erased a heartache without washing love away. Some dreams fly for only moments, some keep circling in the blue. Even if they never find you, they still carry pieces of the truth. Paper birds in the rain, flying through the storm again. They don't fear the falling water, they just follow where the wind has been. If my heart could grow new feathers, I'd let every memory fly. Not to lose what once was beautiful, but to give it back to the sky. There's a quiet bridge beside the river where I used to wait for spring. Now the flowers bloom without us, still they softly seem to sing. I no longer chase the echoes of the footsteps left behind. Some goodbyes become the sunrise when we leave the night in time. Every cloud is only passing, every season learns to change. Even hearts that once were shattered can become whole again. Paper birds in the rain, dancing where the teardrops fall. Every wing remembers freedom, even after losing all. Though your voice became a whisper, love still lives inside my song. Like the rain that feeds the flowers, it was here all along. Heavy for your hands, fold it gently, not to throw it away, but to set it free. Some things are meant to stay with us, others were always meant to fly. Clouds beyond the silence, past the fear I couldn't face. I'll keep writing new tomorrows with the ink of hope and grace. Every storm will leave behind a brighter sky to embrace. Beneath my window, filled with dreams that never bloomed. Little notes of maybe someday, covered softly in the dust. There were dresses I never danced in, trains I never chose to board. Still every almost left a doorway, leading somewhere unexplored. Maybe every broken compass still remembers where it's been. Maybe every missed tomorrow makes room for one within. A sky full of almost still shines brighter than regret. Every star I couldn't reach is teaching me not to forget that hope isn't measured by the dreams that came true. Sometimes it's found in the courage to dream again with something new. Autumn folded golden letters into every quiet tree. Even leaves that learned to fall still danced before they touched the street. I watched the clouds rewrite the skyline. Nothing stayed the way it was. Maybe change has always carried a little piece of love. Every ending hides a doorway, every silence grows a song. The heart keeps learning where it truly belongs. A sky full of almost exactly when it's ready. A sky full of almost now feels like endless blue. The dreams that slip between my fingers made room for something true. I'll greet tomorrow with open hands, no longer fearing what I missed, because every almost shaped the woman I finally become. Some dreams never arrive, because they're quietly making room for better ones. Some dreams never arrive. Morning painted gold upon the mountains, like the world had learned to breathe again. I stood where yesterday had found me, then quietly let the silence in. Every road I used to follow led me back to who I'd been. Today I chose a different ending, one where healing could begin. Some stories fade like fading stars, some remain to light the way. I don't have to carry every wound to honor yesterday. I left my shadow behind, somewhere the sunrise touched the sea. It carried every fear I couldn't name, and finally set me free. I left my shadow behind, not because I stopped believing, but because I found a heart still worth keeping. Smiles a little softer, like it finally knows my face. The girl who hid inside the darkness now walks with quiet grace. Every flower by the roadside bloomed without asking why. They simply reached toward the daylight, so I lifted up my eyes. Hope arrived without a sound, like spring beneath the snow. Sometimes the strongest kind of love is learning to let go. I left my shadow behind, where the river meets the sky. Every tear became a promise that tomorrow still survives. I left my shadow behind, with every step I came alive. The road ahead may still be long, but now I know I'll arrive. If you still carry yesterday, be gentle. Not every burden was meant to become your forever. The bravest hearts are not the ones that never break. They're the ones that bloom after they do. I left my shadow behind, now the sunlight knows my name. Every scar has turned to silver, every loss became a flame. I'll keep dancing through the seasons, even when the leaves let go, because every ending plants the seed for another soul. I found a box beneath the staircase, wrapped in ribbons, faded thin. Inside were letters stained with seasons, and the girl I used to be within. Every page wore shades of midnight, written with an honest hand. Dreams that trembled like the autumn leaves, trying hard to understand. Some words never lose their heartbeat, some tears never lose their shine. Even years can't steal the meaning from a soul poured into every line. Letters written in blue still know how to find my heart. Every sentence left unfinished was a masterpiece in parts. If love was only borrowed, then gratitude can stay. I'll fold every memory gently and let the wind turn the page. And let the wind turn the page. Your handwriting felt like music, slowly dancing through the air. Not every promise reached forever, but every promise led me here. The ink has softened with the years now, like the ache inside my chest. Time didn't erase the story, it simply helped it rest. The sky still paints the same horizon, the stars still rise above. Maybe nothing truly leaves us when it's written down with love. Letters written in blue, floating like the evening tide. I no longer chase the ending, I carry peace inside. Every goodbye became a chapter, not the closing of the book. Now I read my life with kinder eyes. Every time I look, every time I look. If you find an old letter, don't search for the person you used to be. Read it like you're meeting a brave stranger who survived everything you once feared, and thank them for bringing you this far. Letters written in blue now become tomorrow's light. Every word that once felt broken helped me through the longest nights. I'll keep writing with an open heart, no matter what may come, because every page still waiting could become my favorite one. Could become my favorite one. Some letters are never meant to be mailed. They're written to remind the heart how far it has come. Didn't wake with thunder, it arrived on gentle wings. A beam of light crossed my window without asking anything. The coffee cooled beside the silence while the world began to move. I stayed a little longer listening to the quiet telling truth. Not every answer needs a voice, not every heart must race. Sometimes peace is only waiting in the smallest hidden place. The color of quiet looks like sunlight through the trees. It falls across my broken pieces and teaches them to breathe. The color of quiet feels like rivers after rain. It doesn't promise perfect days, it simply softens pain. Drift down so slowly, never fearing where they'd land. Even letting go looked beautiful inside nature's gentle hands. There were dreams I couldn't carry, songs I couldn't learn to sing. Still the wind kept whispering softly, every season changes everything. The moon still waits for every evening, the dawn still follows every night. Hope doesn't shout across the valley, it arrives as quiet light. The color of quiet painted hope inside my soul. Every scar became a window, every crack let healing go. I found my own. Until I found my own. If your world feels far too noisy, walk where the trees still remember the wind. Stand beside a river, listen, the earth has never hurried, yet flowers still bloom, the stars still arrive. And so will you. Will you. The color of quiet now shines softly in my eyes. I no longer fear the silence, it's where my spirit comes alive. I'll carry this peaceful morning into every road I find, because the loudest kind of healing begins inside the quiet. Begins inside the quiet. Begins inside the quiet. Sidewalk wore 1,000 stories, broken lines beneath my feet. Tiny flowers reached for daylight, growing where the stones would meet. No one planted dreams beside them, no one promised they would bloom. Still they painted quiet colors through forgotten shades of gloom. Maybe strength is never perfect, Maybe beauty bends instead. Every crack that once looked empty made a place where hope was led. We grew between the cracks, when nobody believed we'd rise. With borrowed light and open hearts, we learned to touch the skies. We grew between the cracks, not because the road was kind, but because the smallest seeds refused to leave the light behind. Carried me this far. Every scar became a compass pointing softly toward the stars. I stopped asking life for easy. I started asking life for truth. Somewhere in the quiet struggle, I found the strongest version of my youth. Rain can flood an open valley. It can also feed the trees. Sometimes pain becomes the reason our hearts finally learn to breathe. We grew between the cracks, where forgotten dreams belong, turning every whispered failure into one more hopeful song. We grew between the cracks, standing taller every year, not because we never trembled, but because we stayed right here. If the world calls you too fragile, look at the wildflowers, they bloom through concrete. Look at the rivers, they carve mountains without ever raising their voice. Quiet things can change everything. Can change everything. Oh, we grew between the cracks. Now the sunrise knows our names. Every broken road behind us lit tomorrow with its flame. I'll keep carrying this courage into every place I go, because the strongest gardens often grow where no one thought they could. Where no one thought they could. Became the place where we learned to bloom. By the old road where amber leaves began to fall. Every breeze carried a memory like you had never left at all. I heard your laughter in the branches, floating gently through the trees, not as something I was chasing, but as something setting me free. The seasons never asked permission, They simply learn to let things go. Maybe hearts were made for changing more than we could ever know. Your voice in autumn leaves still dances through the air, not to pull me back forever, but to remind me love was there. Your voice in autumn leaves now feels gentle, warm and true. Every falling golden moment whispers life is waiting for you. The river keeps reflecting sunlight, though yesterday has drifted by. Every ending feeds another sunrise. Every goodbye paints the sky. I don't count the things I've lost now, I count the moments that remain, because every season gave me something, even when it came with pain. The strongest trees still lose their leaves, yet no one calls them weak. They simply trust another spring before another bloom they seek. Your voice in autumn leaves guides me like the evening light. Even in the fading colors, you help me find what's right. Your voice in autumn leaves will never ask me not to grow. Love isn't holding someone still, it's helping someone go. If someone you loved lives only in your memories, don't close the door. Open the window, let the wind carry their kindness into every tomorrow, because love never truly disappears. It simply changes the way it speaks. Your voice in autumn leaves now sings inside my soul. Every path I walk remembers how your love made me whole. I welcome every changing season without fearing what I'll lose, because every falling leaf reminds me life keeps choosing to bloom again. To bloom again. Some voices never fade, they become the wind that carries us home. Some voices never fade, they become the wind that carries us home. The moon was waiting by my window like an old friend dressed in white. It never asked about my heartache, it simply stayed the whole night. Silver light across the floorboards, quiet shadows on the wall. I never had to hide my weakness, the moon already knew it all. Some nights don't come to break us, they come to help us see. Even silence holds a language for hearts that need to breathe. The moon kept my secret, locked inside its silver glow. Every tear I couldn't speak of, it already seemed to know. The moon kept my secret leaving. Every time I ask them why, the wind untied the knots inside me. One gentle breath at a time. Healing wasn't loud or sudden. It arrived with moonlight's rhyme. Not every answer comes at sunrise. Some are written in the dark, where faith becomes a tiny lantern, lighting one uncertain heart. The moon kept my secret, like the ocean keeps the tide, holding every fragile moment, never asking me to hide. The moon kept my secret, now I wear it without fear, because every broken chapter brought a brighter ending near. If tonight feels endless, step outside, look up. The moon has watched every generation lose, love, heal, and begin again. You're not the first heart to carry the night, and you won't be the last to find the morning. The moon kept my secret, now the dawn can know it too. Every scar became a constellation, leading me back to truth. All beneath tomorrow's sky, with open hands instead of fear, because even in the darkest heavens, the light is always near. The moon never asked me to be fearless. It only reminded me that even the longest night makes room for the sunrise. The moon kept my secret. The first light spilled across the valley, like hope returning after rain. Every flower faced the morning without remembering the pain. I stood barefoot in the meadow, feeling sunlight on my skin. For the first time in forever, I could hear my heart again. Every winter has a promise, every night prepares the dawn. Nothing beautiful lasts forever, but neither do the storms. If tomorrow blooms again, I'll meet it with an open heart. Every dream I thought was over was only waiting for its start. If tomorrow blooms again, I'll leave fear beneath the leaves. The girl who once was scared of growing finally believes. Finally believes. I don't carry every goodbye like a stone inside my hands. I've learned that love can change its shape without ever truly ending. The river never asks forgiveness for the water flowing on. It simply keeps becoming wider with every passing dawn. The wind still sings through empty branches, the stars still shine beyond the rain. Maybe healing isn't finding who you were, maybe it's becoming someone new. If tomorrow blooms beneath the midnight sky. Thank you. You carried the storms so I could finally walk into the sunrise. Everything you survived became the roots of who I am today. If tomorrow blooms again, I'll sing with all the birds at dawn. Every broken road behind me led me where I now belong. If tomorrow blooms again, I'll welcome every changing sky. 'Cause hope was never something I found, it was quietly growing inside me. The whole time, the whole time. Every flower blooms in its own season, and every heart finds its own sunrise.